It's not economic mismanagement, it's not poverty, it's not race relations. It has always been a free flow of honest and objective information. This country and society has always been about free media. And therefore the issue of media freedom, in my perspective, is not really about what the media practitioners think. It's not just about what a government thinks should be accorded to the public or not. It is the age-old debate about the role of information in a society. And any great society, the rise of any great society, is always in tandem with a rise and the ease of which that information flows. And that's why, in my case, my own political awakening was pretty much linked to the issue of press freedom. I was never political. I was not interested in politics. I didn't care that much actually when Anwar Ibrahim was sacked in 1998. What I couldn't tolerate was the feeling that the version of Malaysia that I learned from TV3, Utusan and Berita was a lie. To wake up one day and feeling that I've been cheated for 21 years in 1998 was very sore, and I'm still sore until today. And that's why I think we have to frame the debate on media freedom in the context of whether or not, given the developments in our society, societies around us, having draconian laws, not just the ones that regulate licensing and publication, but more draconian in the form of Sedition Act. You can't even call names so unknown nowadays, you know. You can't even criticize the wife of Prime Minister. It's very sensitive nowadays. To me, that is very central to a debate about media freedom. It has gone beyond that. In the case of Malaysia, it's even more unique because not many places in the world where you find the majority of the media organization is partially or wholly owned by the ruling parties, only in Malaysia. So you be very careful, Jabba. Yours may be next, you know. So I think in the next one generation, we really have to decide as a country and society, how do we manage the contradictions when it comes to media freedoms and the government policies of Barisan Nasional. On one hand, Barisan Nasional is talking about adding value to our economy, it's talking about openness, it's talking about listening. Yet on the other hand, we seem to be going on the opposite direction. If you want to shift the focus of the economy from ones that is purely commodity manufacturing towards ones that is service-based, knowledge-based, you can't detach this from the issue of media freedom and free flow of information. Without free flow of information, one more minute, okay. My last sentence, without free flow of information, I think whatever that Dato Rahman and the Prime Minister and the government is planning, it's just good on paper, it's not going to happen. And that's why I think it's a good reminder for any politicians to always fall back to this very pure fact, I think, that you cannot run away when it comes to media freedom. The information will continue to flow freely, especially given the internet and given the technology. People will continue to push to get the right and honest and objective information. Those or whoever or whichever who stand in the way of that will definitely be pushed away. And I think that's a good reminder for Barisan Nasional. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was the longest sentence I've heard. Okay. Next up, in no order of importance, is Azmi Ansar. He is a training editor and commentator with the New Straits Times. He was, before 1987, with the Star newspaper, another important kind of player in the media landscape in Malaysia. But he left in 1987, just before Operasi Lalang, the shutting down of many newspapers. And I think for a particular generation of Malaysians, that moment was very important in terms of understanding how politics and the media often, you know, are intertwined. It was a big blow. It's a black mark of Malaysia's history when it comes to freedom of expression and freedom of the media. So take it away. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you.
What if I were to call you, okay, please pardon me for this, stupid motherfuckers, each one of you, inside the classroom. And you know what they would say? No, you can't do that. But I say, a curse word, an expletive, is free speech. It has been established. You watch movies, you read books and magazines, every four-letter word is there, every topless model is there. Pornography is free speech too. So why can't you accept when I call you a stupid MF? They said, okay, fine. Now let's advance it a bit. What if I were to call your parents a stupid MF? No way. They went nuts. They say, you can't call my parents that. But yet, when you call other people stupid or idiot, that's somebody's parents too. When somebody stamped pictures of the Prime Minister and his wife, that's free speech. It's fine. But what if I were to stamp on your mother and father's portrait on there? Can you accept that? If you can, then you're a bloody true Democrat. But if you can't, you're a bloody hypocrite. So next thing I asked them is, what if I were to call your religion a stupid? And they went absolutely ballistic. So I asked them, do you believe in free speech? Nobody raised their hands after that. So the minority that believe in free speech are people like me, my fellow panelists, I presume, who really truly believe that we can take anything. You can stamp on my father's and mother's portrait anytime, with some justification, of course. I might not like it, but I will defend your right to stamp on it, because I will do the same thing. So basically, the idea of media freedom in Indonesia will go down to free speech. In fact, the title here, a requirement, media freedom, a requirement for democracy, I would take away a requirement because it's a given and exchange it and replace it with any one of these words: a pain, a trouble, or a bitch. Take your pick. So it's a bitch for all the flim-flam artists, snake oil salesmen, pushy politicians. No disrespect to the present company up here. So, yes, before you ask yourself, you love free speech, you fight for free speech, ask yourself those three questions I posed. Can you take it? Can you dish it in as you dish it out? If you can, there you are true Democrats. Other than that, just stay silent and shut the no. Thank you.
The first three speakers basically supported the fact that we need free media for democracy, based on certain limits. If you want to step on my mom's picture, my dad's picture. But the point is this: without media freedom, you won't get to know anything. An informed society is essential for a democracy. An informed society is essential to decide whether they want to put Rafizi or Rahman Dahlan to parliament. Otherwise, how are you going to decide? You know, and this is essentially what the situation is in Malaysia or any other country, that information is power. Those in power want to control it so that you don't know the other story, the other side. They just want you to know their narrative, the national discourse of this country. While the other side, which is trying to gain power, wants more freedom so they can expose what's going on. In their mind, they're exposing all the excesses of the government, of the little Napoleons. The word little Napoleon, the phrase itself is wrong because Napoleon was little. So, but you will think about it. All of us here on this stage are for media freedom. Depends whether you're in Putrajaya, then you say, no, that's too much. Because if you know too much, then you might just throw us out of power, right? And those who are outside Putrajaya say, no, you need to know more so that you put us in power. Both of them are right and wrong. For example, and this is going to be very pointed for Mr. Rafizi, if you look at his party elections, it's a sham, parts of it, and I'm very critical of it because there's not enough information going on what's really going on there. On Putrajaya's side, I think there's been a lot of progress in terms of statistics and facts that's coming out of the government. with a lot of excuses to why things happen the way they do. It's only possible because you have an inquiring media. It's only possible because with what Rahman Dahlan said, with technology, more people are exposing things that's going on in government. Sharad was saying, you know, we have moles everywhere. We have moles everywhere because people are fed up. They are fed up with a lot of cover-ups, and they want to tell the bad side, the excesses, the flaws of not just the politicians when the government of the day, but also top officials. If you talk to the MECC officials, they have lots of stuff. They are frustrated because they send in investigation papers and the AG says no. So what do? They look for me. Everyone looks for me. After midnight, I'm in a pub somewhere and they're sending me stuff because they want people to know. And they know Malaysia now has a freer media. You know, the circulation of Azmi Anshar's paper has fallen. It's 71,000 because it's full of news which people say, okay, that's all the good news. Where's the bad news? Bad news sells. So they come to, unfortunately, they come to the Malaysian Insider, and I'm really happy for that. Because we try every day to tell you what's going on both sides of the story, on both sides of the political divide. And that's only possible because we are free. The fourth estate is free without responsibility. We are not responsible to run the government. We're not responsible for anything. We are detached from them to tell them, hang on mate, you're doing this wrong. This is what people are saying about you. That project you did, that $3 billion road down Ranau, on paper it says the road is completed, but the reality is it's not completed. You need a free media to expose this, to tell the story of the little people. The people on this side of the stage, the people outside here, the outside 5 miles away from here. Without a free media, the government, they won't know what's going on. So we are the oxygen of democracy. Without us, we might as well be China. The great writer Amartya Sen said, no great famine ever occurred in a country with a free press. Meaning to say that the stories of little people always gets told. It's feedback for the government of the day. So when the government of the day suppresses or controls or regulates, or when newspapers owned by political parties conceal news, that's wrong. Okay, and to correct Mr. Rafizi Ramli, there is one country which is worse than Malaysia, and it's Singapore. They control all the media, right? Thank you very much.